Welcome to the course Design of Reinforced Concrete Structures. In this lecture, we are going to solve a problem on design of two-way slabs. So the question given here is, design a two-way slab for a room 4000 mm by 3500 mm, clear in size, if the superimposed load is 3 kilonewton per meter square and floor finish of 1 kilonewton per meter square. The edges of the slab are simply supported and corners are not held down. Use M20 grade concrete and grade Fe415 steel. So here in the question what is asking? He is asking to design a two-way slab for a room, and the dimensions of the room are given and the loads acting on the slab are also given, that is the live load being 3 kilonewton per meter square and the floor finishes is 1 kilonewton per meter square, and what all the edges of the slab are simply supported and the corners are not held down, that is they are free to lift up. So and the grade of concrete is given, it is M20, and the grade of steel is given, it is Fe415. So here what is asking to do is asking to design a two-way slab. So design a two-way slab in the sense what we have to do here, we have to design the reinforcement, we have to calculate the moments and we have to calculate the area of the steel reinforcement which is required. So here the grade of concrete is given as M20 and the grade of steel is given as Fe415. So first let us write down the given data. So what is the given data here? The first step is to write down the given data. So the given data is, the dimensions are given which is 4000 meters mm by 3500 mm. So that is the length of shorter span is given here. What is the length of the shorter span? It is denoted by Lx. So how much is Lx given here? What is the shorter span here? It is 3500 mm, or simply you can write it out as 3.5 meters. And the length of longer span is also given here. So what is the length of the longer span? Denoted by Ly. And what is the length of the longer span? Here it is 4 meters. Then what? The live load is given. So what is the live load? How much is the live load given here? It is 3 kilonewton per meter square. And the floor finishes is also given here. The floor finish, it is given as 1 kilonewton per meter square. And the grade of the concrete is given, which is FCK is equal to 20 Newton per mm square, and the grade of steel is also given, which is Fy is equal to 415 Newton per mm square. So this is the given data and the condition is the corners are not held down. So what is the next step what we have to do? We have to calculate the effective depth of the beam, or we have to calculate the thickness of the slab. So now let us calculate the thickness of the slab. So this is our step 1 to write down the given data, and the next step, step 2, is to calculate the thickness of slab. So how will calculate the thickness of the slab? So the thickness of a slab for two-way slab, how will calculate that? We will calculate it based on the span to effective depth ratio. So the span to effective depth ratio, okay, for a two-way slab, when the length of the shorter span is less than 3.5 meters and the loads, if it is less than 3 kilonewton per meter square, then as per clause as per clause 24.1, the span to effective depth ratio is taken as 35 for simply supported slabs. So what? So for the simply supported slabs, as per clause 24.1, the span to effective depth ratio is taken as how much? It is taken as 35. That too for what? When the grade of steel is Fe 250. So the value, that is L by D, is equal to 35. When the grade of steel, if we are using it as Fe 250 as per this clause. But here what is the grade of steel given here? The grade of steel here given here is Fe 415. So as the grade of steel is Fe 415, the L by D ratio should be multiplied with 0.8. So 35 into 0.8. So how much is the L by D ratio? The L by D ratio will be 28. So this is our L by D ratio. So from this what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the effective depth D. So what is the span? The span is here how much it is? 3500 mm divided by 28 will give your effective depth D. So how much will be the effective depth? D is equal to 125 mm. So if you'll solve this, you'll get a value of D as 125 mm. So this is going to be your effective depth D, which is 125 mm. So now what? We have to find out the overall depth capital D. So what will be the overall depth capital D? Overall depth capital D will be the effective depth small d plus some effective cover. So here I am assuming an effective cover of 25 mm. So what will be my overall depth? D is equal to 125 mm, which is nothing but the effective depth, plus 25 mm, which is nothing but the effective cover. So the overall depth is 150 mm. So this is going to be our thickness of the slab, which is 150 mm. So the effective depth here is, this is the effective depth D 125 mm and the overall depth D here is 150 mm. So now what we have calculated the thickness of the slab. So effective depth being 125 mm, overall depth being 150 mm. So what is the next step we have to do? The next step is to step 3 is to calculate the effective span. The next step is to what? It is to calculate the effective span. So how we'll calculate the effective span? The effective span can be calculated by taking the center to center of supports the distance of center to center of supports or the span plus the effective depth, that is L plus D. So here in this particular question the support width is not given. So here how we'll calculate the center to center of supports? Center to center of supports will be L plus the support width divided by 2 plus the support width divided by 2. But here the support width is not given. So here I am considering this particular span plus effective depth. So usually what we'll do, out of these two, which one is the least? That particular least value we are going to consider, as here the support width is not given. So I am going to consider the span plus the effective depth value. So here what we have to find out for the longer span as well as for the shorter span. So first let us calculate for the shorter span, that is Lx. So how much is Lx? It is 3.5 plus D. How much is D here? D here is 0.125. So which will give you 3.625 meters. So this is the effective span along the x direction. In the similar way, let us calculate the effective span along the y direction. So along the y direction, how much it will be? It will be the span, that is 4 plus D. D is 0.125, which will give you 4.125 meters. So this one is along the longer direction, that is Ly. So this is our effective span along the shorter direction, and this is the effective span along the longer direction. So if we'll so this is how we can calculate the effective span. Now the next step is to calculate the loads which are acting on the slabs. So what previously also we have seen, what we have to do, we have to calculate the load per unit area of the slab. So first what we have to do, we have to find out the self weight of the slab. So how will calculate the self weight of the slab? That is the overall depth 0.15 meter into the unit weight of RCC. So what is the unit weight of RCC? It is 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So this is unit weight of RCC, which is 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So which will give you a value of 3.75 kilonewton per meter square. This is going to be our self weight of the slab. So, and what all are the loads acting on the slab? An imposed load, that is a live load is acting, which is how much? It is 3 kilonewton per meter square, which is given in the question. And a floor finish of 1 kilonewton per meter square is also acting on the slab. Now what we have to do? We have to calculate the total load. So what will be our total load? So total load is load of the self weight of the slab plus the live load and the floor finish, which will give you a value of 7.75 kilonewton per meter square. So what in the design, every time what we have to do? We have to consider the factored load. So what we have to do? We have to multiply the total load with a load factor. So now let us find out the factored load. So the factored load will be some load factor into the total load. So here, as we have a live load, the load factor will be 1.5 into a total load of 7.75. So you'll get a value of 11.625 kilonewton per meter square. So this is going to be our factored load, which is 11.625 kilonewton per meter square. So now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the factored load for unit meter, that is for unit width of the slab or unit length of the slab we will calculate. So the factored load for the 1 meter width or length of the slab will be per meter square into 1 meter, which will give you 11.625 kilonewton per meter. So this is per meter. Okay, the factored load is 11.625 kilonewton per meter. Now what we have calculated the loads which are acting on the slab. So what is the next step? The next step is to calculate the bending moment and the shear forces. Okay, now what we have to calculate? The maximum bending moment and the maximum shear forces. So previously how we used to calculate the maximum bending moment and the maximum shear force? We used to use the formulas WL square by 8 and WL by 2. But here in the design of two-way slabs, the bending moments and the shear forces are calculated by the equations which are given in Annexure D of IS 456-2000. So in Annexure G of IS 456-2000, the equations for calculating the bending moments in the shorter span as well as the bending moment in the longer span are given, and for the design of two-way slabs we are going to follow this Annexure D of IS 456-2000, and the bending moment coefficients are also given in that particular Annexure D of IS 456-2000. So the formulas which were given, okay, for a simply supported slab where corners are not held down in Annexure D is MUX is equal to alpha x into W into LX square, and MUY is equal to alpha y into W into LX square. So these are the two formulas for calculating the bending moments with respect. This one is for the shorter span and for the longer span. So where these two are the bending moment coefficients. So from where can you get these two bending moment coefficients? The two bending moment coefficients are taken from the table 27 of IS 456 2000. So alpha x and alpha y can be calculated. The bending moment coefficients can be calculated from table 27 of IS 456 2000. So now what, in this table 27 of IS 456 2000 you'll have the Ly by Lx ratio, and for the Ly by Lx ratios, for different values of Ly by Lx ratios, we'll have you the bending moment coefficients alpha x and alpha y. So first what we have to find out? We have to find out the Ly by Lx ratio, that is the longer span divided by the shorter span ratio. So what is the longer span which is given here? The longer span given here is the effective span, that is previously we have already calculated, that is 4.125 divided by the shorter span which is 3.625, which will give you a value of 1.14. So from this itself what you can know, that this is a two-way slab, because if the Ly by Lx ratio is less than 2, then it is called as a two-way slab. So or you can also calculate the Ly by Lx ratio from this particular clear dimensions also, that is 4 divided by 3.5 also will give you the value 1.14. So now what we have calculated the Ly by Lx ratio and we have got a value of 1.14. Now what, for this 1.14 we have to take from this table 27 what is the alpha x and alpha values. But if for 1.14 if it is not available, then what we have to do is we have to do the intermediate, we have to take the higher and the lower value, and then we have to do interpolation and we have to find out the alpha x and alpha y values. So in the table there, the values for Ly by Lx ratios are given like that. Now what, from the table 27 of IS 456 2000, for the Ly by Lx ratios, okay, for 1.1 of Ly by Lx ratio, the alpha x value is given as 0.74, and for the Ly by Lx ratio of 1.2, the alpha x value is given as 0.084, and in the similar way for 1.1 ratio, the alpha value is given as 0.061, and for 1.2 it is given as 0.059. So here what we got, we have got the Ly by Lx value as 1.14. So this 1.14 is an intermediate value in between these two, isn't it or not? So now what we have to do, we have to interpolate this. So for suppose here if it is the 1.14, so let this be A and let this be B, and what we have to do, we have to take this particular thing first and we have to calculate the bending moment coefficient alpha x for 1.14, and next we have to consider the Ly by Lx ratios and xy, and here we have to calculate the B, that is the bending moment coefficient for 1.14 by doing what? By doing linear interpolation. You know how to do the interpolation. So interpolate and find out the values of alpha x and alpha y for the Ly by Lx ratio of 1.14. So if you will do so, you will get the alpha x value at the Ly by Lx ratio of 1.14 as 0.078, and the alpha y value at the Ly by Lx of 1.14 as 0.059. 6. So these are the values what we are going to get if we'll go for the linear interpolation. So the alpha x value is 0.078 and the alpha y value is being 0.06. Now what? Now we have known the alpha x and the alpha y values. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the bending moment. So by substituting these values in these particular equations, we can solve it. So alpha x value here will substitute 0.078 and the W is nothing but the factored load. The factored load we have got it as 11.625 and Lx is nothing but the effective span which we have previously calculated. It is 3.625. So whole square will give you the MUX here and here it will give you the MUY. So what it is equal to alpha x. Alpha x is how much it is? 0.078 into W. What is W here? It is the factored load which is 11.625 into Lx. How much is Lx? It is 3.625 whole square. So which will give you 11.92 kilonewton meter. And the similar way calculate this also. So alpha y, how much is alpha y? It is 0.06 into W is the factored load which is 11.625 into Lx square. Lx is 3.625 whole square. So if you'll solve this, you'll get a value of 9.17 kilonewton meter. So these are the MUX and MUY values. So now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the maximum shear force. So din kinda rasta kuda kanipistundi kada. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the maximum shear force. So how will calculate the maximum shear force? That is by the maximum shear force Vu is equal to W L by 2. So what is W? W here is nothing but the factored load which is 11.625 into L. L here is the shorter span which is 3.625 divided by 2, which will give you a value of 21.07 kilonewton. So the Vu value will get what? How much it is? 21.07 kilonewton. Now what we have calculated? We have calculated the thickness of the slab, then we have seen the effective spans, we have calculated the loads, and now we have calculated the bending moments and the shear forces. So now what is the next step we have to do? We have to calculate the minimum depth required. So now let us calculate that. Now what? Now the next step is to calculate the minimum depth required to carry the bending moment. Now the step 6 is to what? Calculate the minimum depth required to resist the bending moment. So how we will calculate this? We will take the maximum bending moment. Mu is equal to 0.36 FCK B into XU limit into D minus 0.42 XU limit. So Mu, what is the maximum bending moment here? It is 11.92 kilonewton meter. So 11.92 into 10 to the power of 6 is equal to 0.36 into FCK is, what is the grade of concrete? 20 into B. So it is 1000 because per unit width we are going to calculate into XU limit. So what is the XU limit here? What is the grade of steel we are using? It is Fe 415. So the XU limit will be 0.48D into D minus 0.42 into 0.48D. So here From this what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the minimum depth required, D. So if you solve this, you will get a value of D as 65.72 mm. So that what is the required depth? The required depth is 65.72 mm. But what we have provided? We have provided a effective depth of 125 mm. So 65.72 is less than 125 mm. So what we have provided? Adequate depth. What we have provided? Adequate depth. So the required depth is less. We have provided more than that. So hence it is safe and hence it is okay. So we have provided the adequate depth and I am using this depth only for the further calculations. Now what we have calculated the minimum depth required. So what is the next thing what we have to do? We have to calculate the area of steel to be provided. So the next step what we are going to do is the step 7 is to calculate the area of the steel. That is what we have to provide the reinforcement. So here what we have to provide the reinforcement. So in a two-way slab what the reinforcement, that is the main reinforcement, is provided in both the directions. That is in the x direction as well as the reinforcement will be provided in the y direction also. So let us calculate the reinforcement details. What is the reinforcement which has to be provided in the x direction and the reinforcement to be provided in the y direction. So first let us find out the reinforcement to be provided along the x direction. So how the reinforcement will be provided? How we will calculate? MUX is equal to 0.87 into Fy into AST into D minus 0.42 XU. So here in place of XU what you have to substitute? You have to substitute 0.87 Fy into AST into D minus 0.42 into XU in the sense is 0.87 Fy into AST divided by 0.36 FCK into B. So here we have to substitute all the values like, so MUX, what is the value of MUX? It is 11.92 kilonewton meter. So 11.92 into 10 to the power of 6 is equal to 0.87 into Fy. What is Fy? It is nothing but the grade of steel which is given as 415 Newton per mm square into AST into D. D is nothing but the effective depth. Here the effective depth is 125 mm. So 125 minus 0.42 into 0.87 into Fy is 415 into AST divided by 0.36 into FCK is 20 and B here is 1000. So if you will solve this, you will get a value of AST is equal to 277 mm square. That is along the x direction the area of steel what we have to provide is 277 mm square. Now what? Here I am using 8 mm diameter bars. So what I have got the area of steel as 277 mm square. Now what I have to calculate? I have to calculate the spacing. So how I will calculate the spacing? Spacing can be calculated by using the formula small AST divided by the capital AST into L. So small AST will be pi into D square by 4 divided by the capital AST into L. So pi into D. What is the diameter of the bar? Here it is 8 whole square divided by 4 divided by AST. What we got? The value as 277 into L is for 1000 meter. For 1000 mm we are calculating so. So from this, if you will solve this, you will get a value of spacing as 181.46 mm. So the spacing what you will get here is how much? 181.46 mm. So this is the spacing what we have to provide. So what? Here what we have calculated? We have calculated the area T. Isn't or not? Now what we have to do? We have to check for it. So the check is whether we have provided the minimum area of steel or not. So what? So let us check for the minimum area of steel to be provided. So what is the formula for finding out the minimum area of steel to be provided, which is given in clause 26.5.2.1. So it is nothing but 0.12% of the gross area. So 0.12 divided by 100 into B is 1000 into D is nothing but the overall depth, which is 150 mm. So if you will solve this, you will get a value of 180 mm square. So this is the area of steel minimum which we have to provide. So the minimum is 180 mm square, but the area what we have got here is 277 mm square, which is more than this, so it is okay. So now what? We have checked for the minimum area of steel to be provided and the check is satisfied. So what? Now what we can do? The next check is we have to do check for the spacing also. What should be the spacing? Now what? We have calculated the minimum area of steel and we have calculated the area of steel along the x direction, and we have calculated the spacing also. We have got 188 mm center to center. I have taken it as 180 mm center to center I am providing. Now what? I have checked for the minimum area of steel and the space and the minimum area of steel check has been satisfied. Now what? We have to check for the maximum spacing also. What? The spacing what we have provided here, it should not be more than the spacing what we are calculating here. So we have to check for the maximum spacing. So we have already in the previous sessions we have seen the formulas how to calculate the maximum spacing, that is either 3D or 300 mm. So we have to calculate both these values, and the least of the above two values has to be considered, and the spacing what we are providing, it should not exceed this particular value. So first let us calculate 3D. So 3 into D is how much? D is 125 mm. So which will give you 375 mm, and the other one is 300 mm. So out of these two, which one is the least? 300 mm is the least. And what is the spacing we are providing? The spacing we are providing is 180 mm, which is less than 300 mm. So hence the check here is also satisfied. So what? Along the x direction, what we have to do? We have to provide 8 mm diameter bars spaced 180 mm center to center, or in the other way you can also write provide 8 mm dia bars at the rate 180 mm center to center. So this means that you have to provide 8 mm diameter bars at the spacing 180 mm center to center. So this is what this is the AST what you have to provide in the X direction. Now what we have to calculate the reinforcement which has to be provided in the Y direction also. So now let us calculate the reinforcement along the Y direction. So the reinforcement along the Y direction. So how we'll calculate the reinforcement along the Y direction? By using the equation MUY is equal to 0.87 Fy into AST into D minus 0.42 XU. So MUY is equal to 0.87 Fy into AST into D minus 0.42 into XU in the sense is 0.87 Fy into AST divided by 0.36 FCK into B. So we have to use this particular equation and we have to calculate the AST. So here while providing the reinforcement along the Y direction, we have to first calculate the depth D here. So how we'll calculate the depth D here? That is the depth, effective depth is going to change here. So how? For suppose if this is our slab, what is the thickness of the slab? The thickness of the slab being 150 mm. And what is the effective depth? The effective depth of the slab. So this is the reinforcement bar which is provided in the along the X direction. So the center to the top, this effective depth is 125 mm which we have calculated here. Now what along the Y direction, how the reinforcement will be provided? Along the Y direction the reinforcement is provided like this. Is it or not? So this is how the reinforcement will be provided along the Y direction. So now what we have to calculate the depth from the center of this to the top. So this depth has to be used in the calculation of the area of the steel. So how we'll calculate that depth D? So D is equal to, okay, the effective depth D here, which is 125 mm minus the dia of this bar, that is pi by 2 minus the half of this bar minus pi by 2. So from this particular distance we are taking out the half dia of the bar minus this half dia of the bar, so that we'll get this particular effective depth D. So for suppose here also I'll provide the 8 mm diameter bars. So here I have already provided the 8 mm dia bars. Here also if the dia of the bars what I am providing is 8 mm, then how much will be D? D will be 125 minus 8 by 2 minus 8 by 2, which will give you a D of 117 mm. Now what is the effective depth what you have to provide here? It is 117 mm. By using this value we have to calculate the reinforcement, that is the area of steel which has to be provided in the Y direction. So substitute the values MUY. So how much is MUY? It is 9.17 kilonewton meter. So converting it to Newton mm, it will be into 10 to the power of 6 is equal to 0.87 into Fy. Fy is 415 into AST into D. How much is D here? It is 117 minus 0.42 into 0.87 into Fy is 415 into AST divided by 0.36 into FCK is 20 into B. B here is how much? It is 1000. So if you'll solve this particular equation, you'll get a value of AST as 226.26 mm square. So this is the area of steel what you'll get here, which is 226.26 mm square. Now we have to check what we have to check. We have to check for the minimum area of steel to be provided. So what is the minimum area of steel to be provided? It is 180 mm square, and here it is 226 mm square. So more than minimum we have provided, hence it is okay. So next what we have to do, we have to find out the spacing. So for finding out the spacing, I am providing 8 mm diameter bars. So here what I have provided 8 mm, so here also I am providing 8 mm diameter bars, and I am finding out the spacing. So spacing will be small AST, that is pi into D square. D here is 8 whole square divided by 4, whole divided by the capital AST, it is 226.26 mm into 1000. So if you will solve this, you will get a value of spacing as 222.15 mm. So this is the spacing what you are going to get. So now what we have to check for the maximum spacing. How we'll check for the maximum spacing? So the maximum spacing 3D or 300, whichever is less. So 3 into 117, it is 351 mm, and the other one is 300 mm. So out of these you have to take the least. The least is being 300 mm. So the value what we have got here, that is 222.15 mm, it should not exceed the least of these two values, and it has not exceeded. So what I am doing, we are providing a 8 mm diameter bars in the Y direction. Provide 8 mm diameter bars, spacing 220 mm center to center, that is 8 mm diameter bars at the rate 220 mm center to center is provided along which direction? Is provided along the Y direction. So here it is what? Here it is provided along the X direction. So now what? We have calculated the area of steel which is required, okay, for the reinforcement which has to be provided in the X direction as well as in the Y direction. So in the X direction I am providing 8 mm diameter bars at 180 mm center to center, and in the Y direction we are going to provide 8 mm diameter bars at 220 mm center to center. So now what we have designed the two-way slab. We have calculated the thickness of the slab, we have calculated the area of the steel reinforcement also which has to be provided. Now what we have to do? We have to go for the check. Now let us check for the deflection. Now we have to check for the deflection. The check for deflection. So how we'll do the check for deflection? So what is the span to effective depth ratio for a simply supported slab, the basic span to effective depth ratio is L by D is 20. So this is the basic span to effective depth ratio for a simply supported slab, which we have seen already in the previous sessions also. It is L by D is equal to 20. Now what we have to check for the deflection. So this check for deflection also is done previously. So next what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the percentage of tensile reinforcement. So how will calculate the percentage of tensile reinforcement? It is 100 AST by BD. So it is 100 into AST. What is the AST? It is provided in the x direction. It is 277 divided by B is 1000 and D is nothing but the effective depth, which is 125 mm. So if you will solve this, you will get a value of 0.2216%. So this is what the percentage of tensile reinforcement what you are going to get. Now what here you have to calculate the L by D, that is the L by D maximum ratio, and also you have to calculate the L by D which is provided. Okay, so the provided should not be more than the maximum value. That is the check what we have to do, is it or not? So now what, to find out the L by D maximum ratio, we have calculated the percentage of steel. So for this percentage of steel, next what we have to find out, we have to calculate the stress value, that is the stress curve, that is Fs is what we have to calculate here. So how will calculate that? So it is calculated by using the equation Fs is equal to 0.58 into Fy into AST required divided by AST provided. So it will be equal to 0.58 into Fy is 4 and 5 divided by the AST required. What is the AST required we got here? It is 277 mm square divided by the AST provided. So what we have to do? We have to calculate the AST provided here. So how will calculate the AST provided? So what? The AST provided is pi d square by 4, that is 8 is the diameter what we have provided, into 1000 divided by the spacing. So what is the spacing what we have provided? We have provided a spacing of 180 mm. So from this what we'll get? We'll get the value of AST provided. So how much will be the AST provided? 279.11 mm square. This is the value of AST provided what you will get. So that value you have to substitute here. It is 279.11 mm square. So if you'll solve this, you'll get a value of FSC approximately equal to 240 Newton per m square. So you'll get a value of Fs which is approximately equal to 240 Newton per mm square. Now what? From the figure 4 you have to calculate the modification factor. So what in the figure 4 what you'll have? Here you'll have the percentage of steel and here you'll have the modification factor. So from this what you'll have different Fs curves. So for the curve of 240 Newton per mm square, and for the percentage of steel of how much you got here? It is 0.2. What we have to do? We have to calculate the modification factor. So if you do so, from which? From figure 4 of IS 456 2000. So you are going to get a value of modification factor as 1.6. Now what? Now we have to calculate the L by D max. So we will calculate the L by D max. L by D, the basic ratio what it is? It is 20. So 20 into 1.6 into the modification factor. So from that you will get a value of 32. That is the L by D max, you are going to get a value of L by 2. Now what we have to do? We have to calculate the L by D provided. So how will calculate the L by D provided? That is the length. It is 3625 divided by D. So 3625 mm divided by D. D here it is what? 125 mm. So if you will solve this, you will get a value of 29. So you are going to get a value of 29. What? The L by D provided is less than the maximum. Hence the deflection check is okay. What? The L by D provided is less than the maximum value. Hence the check for deflection is okay, or it is safe. So this is how you have to design for the two-way slab. So what? The reinforcement details are shown in the figure. So you can see the figure now.